This is gonna be a short one. Hi everyone, let's talk about Once Upon a Time Season 6, Episode 7, Heartless. Let's start with some quick thoughts. We had been wondering about Rumple and Regina, especially now that Rumple and the Evil Queen are sort of a thing, and we figured that there must have been something that happened before, right? And now it is confirmed by Regina that apparently there was always chemistry between the two. Now nothing happened, but there was chemistry, which I don't think they really ever give us a hint of. I might be wrong, but it just feels kind of out of nowhere for me. But you know, fair enough. At least they've acknowledged the fact that there was always something between Rumple and Regina. I feel like Zelena is given nothing to do this season, and I've talked about it before, and I have to talk about it again this episode because really, what was she doing? I think the main reason she was in this episode was to tell Belle about Rumple, but I feel like Belle could have found out a different way. Her character had such an interesting growth last season with her and Regina making up and her trying to be a better person, and now I feel like it's all like for nothing. Not only is she kind of going backwards a little bit, she's just not even doing anything. Like, just stop. Don't use her or give her something better to do. I feel it's such a waste for the character. I think we also got a better idea of what Rumple wants to do with the shears. He wants to use them to stop his son Destiny so that he doesn't hate Rumple, and then in turn he wouldn't be there, I'm guessing, to stop Belle from going back to him. Similar to how you would stop the Savior's Destiny from being the Savior, I'm guessing that that's the same principle for any Destiny. I'm glad that Belle called him out on it, but I feel it's always the same story a little bit. Well, we had this whole thing with Bellfire already. Are we gonna do this all over again? I feel like, can we move on from this a little bit? I actually miss the early days of Rumple and Belle. They had such a sweet story, you know, when he was trying to be better, so there was some sort of evolution. Of course, now I don't want her to go back to him because he's proven over and over again that he's not gonna change. I wish they would kind of keep going with the evolution of the character because I feel at this point we're just kind of flatlined. He's just bad, 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 bad. Oh, I love my son. I'm gonna trick him so he loves me instead of earning his love. I just want more for the character at this point. And now let's move on to the main storyline of this episode, Snow White and Prince Charming. Now, I will admit that I'm not a big fan of Snow White and Prince Charming storylines. Usually I'm okay if they're like supporting characters in the story, but I'm never a big fan of stories focusing on them, which this episode was. So, you know, it was just okay for me. I did enjoy the fact that they had actually met before they realized they had met, which was pretty cool. They had true love before they even realized they had true love, and that created the tree. However, I do have an issue with the tree because it is supposedly created out of true love. And if we've learned anything about Once Upon a Time is that love is the most powerful magic of all. But it was so easy to destroy that I kind of felt like, what? They grabbed the tree, remember all the wonderful times that they've had together, and then the evil queen appears, does some magic, gets the tree and breaks it in half, and that's it, it's gone. Really? Is it that easy to like kill that tree from made out of true love? That was so disappointing. Now the sleeping curse, I gotta admit, is quite evil. They can never be awake at the same time. That's messed up. Now they have to break the curse, and true love is what usually breaks the curse. But if they're each other's true love, they will never be able to break the curse because they're tied to it together. So how can they break the curse? My guess is that it would have to be Emma. I'm guessing a daughter's love would be true love, or could be true love. I'm betting on Emma. Plus she's a savior, so she has to find a way to get their happy ending back. And that was pretty much the episode. Sadly, we didn't learn more about the saviors, and to me it felt a little bit like a filler episode. There wasn't a lot of new information revealed. I'm hoping that we'll be delving back into the savior mythology very soon because I want more. Please.